Welcome all, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you guys. This is a general read. It is for the Divine Masculine within all of us. It is a Twin Flame read, but it's the Masculine within the Masculine and the Feminine. Okay. It is December 9th today, 2019. The 9 is the Hermit. The Hermit's all about isolation, but it's also the Wise One. It's about going within, the collective consciousness, endings, and seeing just wisdom, seeing wise perspectives. The day adds up to the 33-6, which is also the 7 of Wands. The 33 is the Christ vibration, and the 6 is love, family, and community, and the 7 of Wands is about standing up for yourself without reacting. So today the read was completed at 10:46, 10 being the Wheel of Fortune and 46 being the Children in the Garden, the 6 of Cups. The major arcana here were Alchemy and Karma. Alchemy's Temperance, Karma is the Judgment card, and before the read the Chariot came up. So the main cards, the main deck for the read is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck. And I usually get guided to pull 3 to 4 cards on either side of the read, so I use them within the read as well. We also have the Rider-Waite Mini, we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic, Romance Angels, the Numerology deck, the Gilded Tarot, as well as the Universal Golden Tarot here. So there's a lot of decks involved. And let's see, we had 2 Cups, 2 Pentacles, 2 Wands, and 3 Swords. So very well balanced, except a little more swordy than we'd like it to be, right? And then we have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Pentacles in the read. The Queen of Swords is the challenge. The Page of Pentacles is the block the masculine needs to clear. So they're kind of both in those challenge positions. We also have the Page of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands after the read. Today we had 4 5s in the read. Okay, 2 of them were within the main part of the read and 2 of them on either end. And we also had triple 1s. They were all in the read today. So 3 aces were in the read. We also had double 6s. So 1, 5, and 6 were absolutely predominant here. 4 5s, 3 1s, and 2 6s. The code line was a 6. It's 51, which is a 6. 51 is the King of Swords, which was very important because the Queen of Swords is the challenge today, which is also in the code line. But we also ended up having the number 5 and 1, which is 51, which is the King. So we literally have the King and Queen of Swords here in the code line about teaching and learning, and that the A and the N of the and were covered. So the D is divine, so it's about teaching, divine learning, and taking a time out as well. So the message here around those things, teaching and learning and time out, and the code numbers here, we had 2223, which is the Fool and the King of Wands, which come up a lot in this read. 4 5s, 3 1s, 2 6s, the 1 with 6 6 is the Queen of Pentacles, 1 is the Magician, 56 the 2 of Swords, 15 the Devil, 14 the Angel or the Temperance card, and then 45, which is the 5 of Cups, the grieving card, or the needing to let go of that third baton to start over again, right? Holding on to the past to not let go for the future, or the present actually. So the code line here was, it was very interesting the way it came across. It was very much just about the King and Queen of Wands, right? Because they're each other's counterpart. It was about the masculine and his false alternating currents, which also references air conditioning. And of course, the King and Queen of Swords are air signs. So it's conditioning the air signs. The falseness of the air signs, right? Because they're not showing as much love as they really have inside of them. You know, they've been hurt and they're very much in their truth and about being in their integrity, but not showing love that they should be showing. So the alternating currents of the Divine Masculine is the King of Swords, and the conditioning needed for the air signs here, the King and Queen of Swords. Right? The falseness of them, what needs to still need to be cleared away from them, from their wounds. If you are human, Divine Masculine, then there needs to be air conditioning here for the King and Queen of Swords, both. for teaching and learning, and time out. I, with low boiling point, which is the masculine, am human, the divine masculine human, with alternating currents going back and forth. Remember, we're back and forth and up and down. We're doing the dance within the masculine and feminine within, but we're also doing the dance between the 3D and the 5D in two different directions. And that's the alternating directions of the circular flow of energy. And that's what makes the dance and coming together so difficult. So the air conditioning that's needed here, the alternating currents, and acing the change, the freedom, the expansion, the fun, the unity consciousness, the Hierophant, which is your commitment to self, right? Which is why a Hierophant can be seen as God, because in order for you to be your authentic self, you need to stay connected to your higher self. The collective consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the highest consciousness, the magician of the unity consciousness, and the Sophia, the Christos Sophia, and the age, the wisdom of thoughts and words, and when and where to use them, regarding the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Commitment to self and self-growth, commitment to manifestation for the masculine King of Swords of the Queen of Swords, who is his true match, the true match for the King of Swords. And actually, self-growth and manifestation also both came up in the numerology cards. They just come up as reverse, so I usually bring them up later in the read. But I wanted to bring them up here because this message was all about the commitment to self and self-growth to manifestation of your true counterpart, the Queen of Swords, the true match for the King of Swords. So manifestation and self-growth both came out in the numerology deck as well, along with a third card that was reversed that I'll tell you at the end. So getting into the read, I did pull up a few things online, the headers, which were also very interesting today at 11:07. So the first thing that came up was Revolution, which is PRWF Club. It's a game. And it just referenced Ace and Quattro, which were names of characters in the game. Enter the Orb, which is funny because my friend sent me a picture of what she thought might be an orb yesterday. So the orb is important today. And this Revolution game was referencing also going to Gray Lake. And Gray was coming up for me in the read today as well. And the other headline, the next one, was what are the truth-seeking orbs in Naruto from Quora? And that was describing hand-sized orbs of black chakra or diamond, right? The diamond chakra is referenced as black. Get when manifest. You get it when you manifest 6 paths of this senjutsu, Senjutsu in the game. And the orbs are made of 5 elements, the 5 elements and the yin-yang power. Then the third entry was the Revolution again. This Revolution game came up at least 3 times here. So the second time it came up was September 6, 2019, and the character Ace, or the Divine Masculine it seems, says, if anything happens to her, I don't know what I'll do. The way I feel about her is like nothing I've ever felt before. This must be what true love is. And then Revolution came up again for September 27th, 19, which is the character Miracles, which is referencing the Divine Feminine, that Miracles cries again, draining the power from the entire orb, or the third energy. And then Sage, another character, comes in, power loss in all systems. We may not be able to land in Gray Lake safely. And telling them to identify the cause and reroute all power in order to land as needed. So even if there's a problem with landing, it's like Michael and Metatron are coming up to work it out. And then my next door neighbor was blasting his music in his car again, which literally rocks my house because he blasts his bass in his car. And it's not like you can't feel it. I can hear it and feel it very loudly. And you really feel that energy. So right at that point, the bass was coming up. And then the next entry was Revolution again on October 8th, 2019, where Ace, or the Divine Masculine, says, it's not our call to make. It's Cal's vessel. And that's like Metatron. When he's ready to move on it, then we move. Unless you want to travel on foot with newborn. All right, so babies who aren't ready to go. Then the next entry was the Ace of Base, which I was just talking about because my neighbor was blasting his bass. All that she wants. And that was live at Dance Machine number 8, the dance of the masculine and feminine within. So the bass was referencing also the number 8. Ace, the divine masculine, and his base or his root chakra, and needing to do the dance of the divine and the divine feminine. And then it says, she leads a lonely life. So referencing the base is more masculine energy that he needs to feed more into his feminine, because Ace is the divine masculine in the story. He's referencing the feminine, but he is also the feminine. So the next header comes up, Ace Information Solutions. The next one said, sign in. That happened to be from Ace Hardware. And then the next entry was, what are orbs? From Angels and Ghosts. And just referencing that they are light. And then the next entry was just Sage 1. And that was online accounting. So of course that's coming up because it's going to be tax season soon. But the Sage, about being wise, and the Hermit, which came up earlier. So we start here with the Six of Cups. The children in the garden, but in this deck it's about 2 children hugging each other. It's a really beautiful card, and it's actually upright energy today. We have the Chariot upright here, the 5 of Wands upright, then the Lovers upright right here behind them, and the 4 of Pentacles, which in this deck is the divine masculine's heart. For me, it's literally the divine masculine in the Batcave. So we have the Chariot, the 6 of Cups on top of the Chariot, the 5 of Wands, the Lovers, and the 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles was the only thing reversed, which is okay. That's the divine masculine letting go and coming out of the Batcave. But everything else was upright. The 6 of Cups of the inner children of the twins hugging each other. It can reference children as well. But this read was definitely about the masculine and feminine. And we have the Lovers here, which Lovers can reference affection for your children as well. But we have the 5 of Wands right below it, so it's referencing more than that. So the twin inner children holding each other after a bold move to go on a quest for lovers of the divine masculine's heart. He's coming out of the Batcave to fight for his twin. Standing up for himself is standing up for his twin. 2 others as the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the divine feminine's heart. So as the 9 of Pentacles, which is the sovereign, and then the 7 of Pentacles, the divine feminine's heart, which was at 11:28 to 29, which is the twins, and then being present to your twin with justice for all, the sovereign divine feminine's heart, and then the divine masculine dwelling within it, the Batcave and the E-Tower, which references Rapunzel. So 11:29, justice and being present, that it's the gift of the moment. The masculine is done overworking and aligning with desires, no longer working for him, whatever he's doing, rejection of twins, his vulnerability, his shyness, hiding behind his inner child and his twin, and immature emotions. The divine feminine in a bold move to come back, since she may be ahead in the race, or ascending to meet the journeyman, but they come with bad news or under the radar due to falling on face from grace or lacking faith in their union, suffering in silence with gate open to peace talks or a boat ride. Bring your coat, it could be chilly, in the moat with the goat, referencing on water with the Capricorn or in emotions. A masculine is guiding the 3-hour tour, hermit there with hood for sure, 3 of 9 swords left behind, the broken heart and separation of the 3 of swords. Arrogant fool and loving loyal friend take a trip to mend an exposed past suffering with compassion blanketing the purity of heart. And there was a site too I opened up to about the crown, because I wanted to know how metal in the body affects the crown opening, because I've already looked up stuff about the pineal gland and things to decalcify the pineal gland and what things that might affect. But specifically, I was looking up around the crown today with metal in the body, things like fillings and people who've been in accidents or traumas who have rods or metal pieces in their body, how does it affect the crown opening? So the crown opening, this was referencing this one site. They were talking about the pressure that you get in your head. I get it a lot around my sinuses, my third eye. But that happens as your crown's opening. But they were referencing that anything that's pressure is a block. It's resistance of the opening going down the chakra system. And also talked about the hissing in the ears. So you know that your crown's open because you get that hissing in your ears, which was interesting because I definitely hear the energy waves coming in my left ear, but I don't in my right, which is the masculine block, because we're twins. So there may be etheric body things that we're different than other people because our etheric bodies are split between the masculine and the feminine energies. So with the 3 of 9 swords left behind, right? So we have the 9 swords of the gate opening, the 9 of swords gate, with the 6 of swords, which takes 6 swords with them, but leaves the 3 behind, the broken heart and separation of the arrogant fool and the loving loyal friend. Take a trip to mend and expose past suffering with compassion, blanketing the purity of heart. The sweet dog who was on all fours, now trying to once again stand tall and follow suit on the heels of gray boots and living on the edge. But the world is not flat. You will not fall in the end. The hermit being escorted to twin for a big hug, moving back to peaceful memories of the past and loving children. Released from anxiety, prison, or jail, the hermit reversed over isolating after the war to resolve PTSD issues and coming out now about issues at work or lack of creation or nobility there. Third party interferences at work or leaving the job, or with mental status issues at work or a parent with them, or in the hospital a lot battling health issues. Streaming gray matter or working with materials, golden or metal rods built into the structure. And then Oregon was coming up with copper pipes and how to make it. And also the rods were coming up anyway because of the metal in people's bodies from, people when they have issues with joints or have traumas and accidents, they have metal in their body. So that would be really cool to have an organ implant, because then you'd have that perpetual ongoing support to break down the negative energies. It's kind of like the organ is like an alchemist. And here we are talking about metal and gray matter and all that kind of stuff. So metal blocks good magnetic resonance, right? Like an MR, magnetic resonance imaging. But metal blocks that, right? So I know I worked in radiology for 25 years. If someone has a stent and it may be an old stent, maybe it wasn't great for MR because it disturbs the imaging. And so you don't actually get a good image of what's really happening in there. But now the metals they use, don't interfere with the MR, but if you have an old one, it might. So there may be trouble with opening the crown fully, depending on metal. I was also getting reference to the bald spot, like some men, they get the bald spot on the top of the head. The friar's hat, the yarmulke covers the crown when there's no hair. And I'd gotten a download before that the new children coming in would not have hair loss issues anymore. The DNA upgraded had changed that. Where there was balding before, there will be none in the future for the kids. So there's a lot about the crown chakra coming up here. Sahasrara, the 7th chakra, associated with brain and the nervous system. The Hindu lotus flower with 1,000 petals, or the crown. And that was from spirit-awakening.com. As the crown opens, pressure around the crown and third eye, pressure is always resistance. Tension, you are not relaxing, controlling versus allowing. Also the crown, like I told you, is called the hissing snake. When open, you will notice the hissing sound in both ears, or pressure around the head. So gold and diamond were both coming up as good things for the crown. The divine masculine hermit, no longer presenting plans, with Middle Eastern woman in peach and orange, or man is disguised as hermit in grays, but it's not actually divine masculine, it's someone pretending to be him. So she can set in stone what she wants in whatever plans are being made right here. So it's like referencing like a partner going to the bank, not with your husband, but pretending they're your husband so that you can do something at the bank. And I'm not saying it was a bank. I was actually getting more like, plans for a home or a business, or it can be anything, but it actually can be a bank, which is why that came up. So that might have been important. Someone to stand in for their husband with a joint account so they could do what they want with the account. So that's obviously not for everyone, but that's for someone out there. Or gray curtains under peach and orange with yellow, gold, or metal pull or rod. Or he wants gray and she wants bright oranges. None of it is working out post-war with dark energy streaming in, the dark cloud overhead at work or in leaving work or leaving the job. A dark man, lead, or mold causing havoc must take down to the studs or roots and build up again. Could be a medical procedure also, not the news you wanted to hear. A lot of gray zones, nothing definitive, or now released from a doctor's care in order to come together. Grieving loss or regret, guilt, shame, so dreams can come true, released from energy vampiring or energy strike, limitations on reservations, holding back, holding place, placeholder, be back later. Just let them know so they can go on with other things. And then my friend called. It was just at 12:21 right there when they called about the orb that I told you about. It is safe to love came up, as well as stay optimistic for the divine masculine, release from deception or from prison for cheating or stealing, or up at 4 a.m. and figuring out the right thing to say or do. And I was getting like a eureka moment. Like it's the energy from the Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Page of Cups, where someone's struggling for the words. They're trying to write music or a poem or a song or a letter, but they can't figure out the right way to make amends. But today the card was reversed, and I was getting, they finally found the right thing. There's like a eureka moment on how to express themselves. Since frustrated and unsure at the full moon, expanded reservations for New Year's Eve, and that mirroring Holy Grail at the full moon is illusion and expansion of the false light. So wait till after to write true emotions. Midpoint, moderation, 0 point, always best. Once released from energies of the full moon, and those who savor it, cool down to find your real light inside and through meditation inside. T max, or the max temperature, right? Because the boiling point for the masculine energy is much lower than the feminine's. T max at the full moon, T rex doesn't see very well, right? So things aren't clear at the full moon, causing others to well up, or you make other people cry, making things bigger than they actually are. So like making, blowing things up out of proportion. Calming down after, towards the new moon, or early morn, better time to express or write using the build in a calm decrescendo. After a couple days of recovering from overstimulation, over the hump of the full moon, and it was coming up as 12:17 to 12:21 is the sweet spot here. The lobster clasp holding the pearl ever so gently and carefully out of the mouths of babes, oysters, and clams, using Reiki to calm the energy you're in. The right hand with the 2 middle fingers together and the thumb out, they were showing to use Reiki this way, with the right hand and 2 middle fingers together and the thumbs out. The lobster comes out of the woodwork with perfect opening to retrieve his pearl, using Reiki, a hand that appears out of nowhere. No more Godzilla. And here comes Zilla, not Godzilla, but another one, Zilla, with flame breath, the mutant iguana at war with Godzilla, which is referencing good and evil. Zilla versus Godzilla. Referencing good and evil, no more Loch Ness, locked out, or no key to get in, hearing sweet sounds of violin. As I turn the page, it's 12:48, the Hangman and the Eight of Cups, walking away and within. The sweet sounds of the violin, referencing his ink, right? So his ink to his pen, maybe, someone's bow and violin to someone else. The sound of music, and never-ending stream of hands, or hand, foot, and butts exposed, and how they all relate to each other. Disjointed or all together, getting a handle on the heel connection, to aim the sharp pain away from the body, a tendency to inflame the matter, or, in other words, tendinitis. Bursa, things overlooked in the body, saying, see me, feel me, touch me, heal me. All right, so it's referencing parts of the body. When they get inflamed or hurt you, it's because they're literally saying, see me, feel me, touch me, heal me. I need attention. So it's saying you can do that. Focus your intent on the spot that's bothering you. Heal your bursas, heal your heels. Your heels are very important. Those are some of the acupuncture spots for your back, especially your lower back. So it's very important to massage your feet on a regular basis as well. Major Tom to ground control. He's blind now, flying on autopilot. No need to see with eyes. He sees or seizes. So sees can reference the ocean, and seizes or takes away things. He sees or seizes with his heart and third eye, his crowning glory of getting his last filling out. The Page of Cups expands to Knight. So here we go from the Page of Cups reversed to the Knight of Cups reversed. The Page of Cups expands to Knight. That also is referencing tonight. So synchronicities come up here at 87, and below that was nature, so allow things to happen naturally at 74, which is 3, it's the Six of Pentacles, the balance. Allow things to happen in a balanced, natural way. The Queen of Wands reversed is healing and forgiving. Rapunzel is in the tower, suffering in silence, in judgment, announcement, or call to action. Sneakiness of coming clean, leaving behind for every truth a lie. So it's saying the Queen of Wands is coming up reversed here about sneakiness and coming clean. But whoever this is leaving behind the swords, for every sword of truth they're leaving a lie, but that's a wash. You can't get into heaven in fudging the truth, right? You can't tell part of the truth, but not all of it. The Emperor reversed, denying his connection to symbols and constellations of astrology, and out-of-control dark dogs howling at inner workings and the mechanics of the full moon. Joining in with them, howling at the moon, a crab dressed as a lobster, disguised divine masculine in order to fit in with the dark shadows, to go unseen as being different. But for him, the man in the moon isn't that at all. He sees the actual reflection of his sunshine. Arch rival coming clean, Achilles' heel, a sore spot for him. Silk curtains and robes, the white of purity wrapped in navy and gold, with touches of red, or red-eye at least. The State of the Union address. Okay, so there's a lot of different meanings here. The State of the Union address, which it means what it means. The state of our union addressed. But we're also talking about the state of a union, a coming together, dress, which we're just referencing silks and whites and blues and reds and golds. So the union is a closed, it was also referencing the fact that the union is a closed circuit. Union is U-N-I-O-N. Ion is the connection. So in union, you're unconnecting, right? You're disconnecting. So union is considered a closed circuit within the masculine and the feminine, right? You're a sealed circuit. There's no connections between the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, false light. So that's the masculine referencing their fear of coming into union because it's sealed, right? There's no connection in this union between the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, that false light, right? The shadow side of him. At the full moon, the twins hug without talking, allowing the dog's howling to do all the talking, to find peace together, no longer at work or out of his head, with synchronicities and dealing with the false light and dreading it. Grieving recently at night, ending family cycle, finding inspiration out of weakness, ego death, or lack of courage, or a Leo child, regaining their strength, while the Knight of Pentacles reversed is on strike, refusing to move or work, or disabled, or just lazy and stubborn mule, horse, or bull. Or kids walking all over weak Leo and unhappy family members, or the end of an emotional cycle. Kids dreaming of stardom and walking away and within, or twins, inner children, one inspired to physical movement and one still creating dreams, both creating dreams come true, and healing through rest, sleep, prayer, and meditation in the 5D, where they can get away from it all. Death and transformation, dark night, holding tongue about frustrations to or about the Queen of Pentacles connection. Keeping quiet about sexual frustration and not working from her while grieving at or around the full moon, or just regularly grieving at night. The foundation here is the Five of Swords reversed, that the war is over with a strong connection or partner and kids, or connection with kids, the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed, is in need of help. One in need of help with school, and or they could have the one that may need help with school may just be refusing to share, or they could have a disability as well. And the other child's coming up as jealous and moody, may be mad at the King of Swords for settling out debt and offering money or new life to the Queen of Swords, who talks about his loss of money and status and juggling performance. Or in debt due to the Page of Pentacles reversed with learning challenges, so they had to put a lot of money out for schooling or care, or just one who just refuses to learn on their own, right? A kid who always wants help because it's more fun with help rather than do it on their own, but they really need to start doing it on their own. Or one who never learned, the opportunist. And now the King of Swords giving that coin that the Page of Pentacles has to the Queen of Swords instead, now considering it a better investment. The central energy here is the Ace of Wands reversed. Big frustration or implosion to create a vacuum effect. A change, bold move on the part of the King of Wands reversed, who's been grieving loss of passion or inability to perform. The Queen of Swords speaking on that, and the King of Pentacles reversed, false juggling act, or losing money performing. The challenge being the Queen of Swords determined to set the record straight, her hand on the lever ready to open the floodgates. The Queen in mourning, bleeding out as Scrooge lets go, looking back or going back, causing slowdown or slow motion rendering of what actually happened. Bad news, failure, under the radar with lovers manifesting and spreading the word, Underground Railroad or railroaded by underground connection, derailed, the little engine that could, Capricorn, was forced to derail in order to switch tracks, that he refused to switch on his own. The Emperor reversed in exile, left behind or just out in the cold after an accident, left to his own devices, now on a quest to face the Knight of Wands, a challenge to a game or match game. Third party, big love at work, or his work is his lover, harsh lie, split, or need for clarity in moving or ending a marriage, or going to stay with a friend to play. The King of Swords could be hiding from debt collectors, opportunists, or the jealous and insincere, under the radar lover from the past in chaos or detox of devil incarnate, the evil empress, with memories starting over by coming clean about instability, move, or ending a marriage. And this is at 157, the magician and the separation or heartbreak. Or ending a celebration or a big party that was scheduled, or the party's over now, with the King of Cups reversed after reunion, or he's always drinking or socializing away from home. Now the Ace of Pentacles is upright, the Diamond exposed, but new and rough. And this was at 202, the High Priestess and the High Priestess, when two people with psychic abilities come together. It's new and rough, not expressing feelings and letting go to repair, fix, or mend. The truth through writing about the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, reversed, pushed to their emotional limits in love. They're both reversed here. But the Queen of Wands is not reversed in the rest of the read, just here. So the Queen of Cups upright and the King of Cups reversed, pushed to their emotional limits in love. And it's like the masculine's writing about it. Purging, crying under the radar. At night, and especially the full moon, a new life, and stepping down from work or transforming issues at work, now leaning on the truth with dummy left arm. The Queen of Cups upright is the wounded warrior. Or this could also be the Queen of Cups and the wounded warrior. They could be two separate people. She, his left hand woman, instead of right hand man, or she or he with no use of their left hand. Her right elbow, the holder of truth, while he focused on work, butts, lies, and split and BS, the Queen of Wands holding their tongue about a move or instability with the King of Swords, with internal battle of hers yelling at herself to come clean, unless she actually has a twin sister, or she's close with another fire sign, and there's two Queen of Wands here doing the same thing, right? Holding on to like yelling at their self inside, or they're yelling at each other, like in order to come clean, because neither one of them, or just the one person, has not come clean yet. And this has come up before too. So the two Queen of Wands could be just her talking to herself, or it could be two different fire signs, or two twin sisters, obviously. But also, the situation came up for somebody before too, where they're married, but the wife is gay, so she's with her lover, who's her friend, and the masculine may not be aware of that. So that could be somebody's situation as well. Or the Queen of Wands held back the truth on two different timelines, coming clean or with need to come clean about tripping up and falling from grace in front of him. So feeling humiliated or embarrassed by him, making a fool of herself, with a new life with lover, her not destined, and in detox with evil empress, mother. She dark priestess, or her friend is, and or her mother is the dark priestess, casting spells to reduce his sexual performance or frustrate him, to block his new passion, placing judgment on him or casting spells. Soon is the Six of Wands coming up, reversed with judgment, announcement, or a wake-up call to action to start over in love, with detoxing the Empress, finding peace in split and or their lies. Bad news, failure, or a need for attention under the radar. Lovers manifesting hearsay about underground connection, passing message through announcement, to not settle for dark ownership, addictions, codependency, ball and chain, feeling a prisoner. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, lied, or their values are malaligned, choosing a new path of patience and taking one step at a time. In ending a war with the Queen of Swords, looking back at that which didn't serve her and now speaking about it. The masculine seeing himself as the Ace of Swords reversed. In a split lies in videos, the Dark Knight caused his own unhappiness, his own arrogance, his own lack of satisfaction, and now dropping burdens to let the sun shine again, exposing all. Soulmate came up, and underneath that is worth waiting for. Around him, or how he is seen, is alchemy, patience, angel, or Sagittarius, deception of group or friends or family coming together in move or ending marriage, or after the big party, hanging out with Taurus, Hierophant, or at the establishment after hours without the divine masculine, or vice versa, and they're now finding out about that. Like, so here comes up that wound too of being left out. So it's like the divine masculine, some people were meeting after work and partying, but he was left out or wasn't told about it, or someone's been cheating, or at least, you know, doing something that's not quite kosher after hours or at night, sneaking out. And it could be kids as well doing this too. So at 2:30, which is the High Priestess and the Four of Wands, the home or the union, or a group was supporting the Hierophant or Taurus, or religion or establishment, and leaving him out. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the Page of Pentacles reversed, not learning to use their abilities, or needing patience with self to get clear on their suffering and why. Or the Empress, or this is just a Taurus person, is patient and choosing peace away from lies and split, with Sagittarius angel and their 10 of Pentacles reversed family, so finding time away from them, or could be going toward them, since that could be their family. Sagittarius angel student who never learns to appreciate what you have until it's gone, always thinking they're smarter than everyone else. Time out, teaching and learning, but even more so for the masculine today, is happy ending, personal growth, and manifestation. Reunion of or with the King of Cups reversed, moving or visiting friend or relative's house, in judgment and karma of a slowdown, downturn, or slow motion of a painful ending or betrayal, with the 10 of Pentacles reversed family, or back pain, never ending, or family, business, or combination of both, going under in judgment, or loss of family, or loss of big money, or lots of pain or back treatments costing him a lot of money, whether it's for him or somebody else. Crown is opening as the judgment is in effect, frustrating, sad memories of starting over and over and over again, being sneaky, feeling guilty, and then coming clean, just to get kicked out or now lose everything, or choosing a new path with or away from home and 10 of Pentacles reversed family, which I've been referencing as the Montagues. The Page of Cups reversed, Queen of Pentacles, which can reference two different people or describing the Queen of Pentacles. So, and there could be two different Queen of Pentacles because, you know, there could be more than one person who is an earth sign. But the Page of Cups reversed Queen of Pentacles in divorce, or with Libra, or with a judge, so they could have a new lover who's a judge, or with a judge in court, or with a secret out about a passion, or not having used their intuition. Frustration or blocks regarding childhood or kids, memories, or the Queen of Pentacles feels judged in a loss of a child, abortion, or disowned by their family. Or the Queen of Pentacles is shy, vulnerable, rejected, or spoiled, immature child, or with one, or in exile apart from the group, with the Knight of Wands gathering outside late at night. The Queen, and this is referencing a coven as well, but the Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Wands in exile from each other. The Libra male is coming up upright, the Pisces with issues, Aquarius really strong here, and Taurus or Empress is upright, but has been the cause of the chaos and cause of the Queen of Swords, possible loss of money and or business. The Knight of Wands going back suddenly in exploding, erupting, or an epiphany, or kicked out of their house, to choose a new path left, following synchronicities to let go of what no longer serves, incomplete in separation and heartbreak and frustration, needing to complete the cycle. The Six of Cups twins ending war of lies, split, and BS with patience, angel grieving frustration and no flame, and the challenge being the Queen of Swords under the radar in need of help, or child that is. New life emerges with judgment in place. All hands down, or a final decision. 256, the High Priestess and the Two of Swords. Knowing without having to see. So now choosing a new path suddenly. At 256, which I just said is the High Priestess and the Two of Swords, twins with Chariot, in a bold move to fight for the lover who's left the Batcave, or twin, for twin, or with kids. Finding peace in grieving and releasing at the full moon. Ending war with PTSD. So they could be ending the war with PTSD or ending the war and now dealing with PTSD. Frustrated, impending new passion and new life, or infusion of new money, and challenged by the Queen of Swords with their hand on the truth trigger. Needing clarity or dealing with split, under the radar judgment comes in, patient with child's disability or patient needing help with psychic abilities, or Sagittarius who never learns, or trouble in school, offer of new life, and two wrongs multiplied exponentially do make a right. A final judgment, decision, announcement, or call to action comes down regarding rejection or loss of purity, integrity, or a child, and the Queen of Pentacles in exile from the Knight of Wands, or vice versa, looking back once and then suddenly disappears to a new path, choosing left at the Y in the road, the feminine, the new, not the right and the masculine, and not going backward. Post-war PTSD, inflammation and frustration, exacerbated at the full moon, knowing the new life is right around the corner. The challenge being the Queen of Swords wielding her truth until the shadows come to light and the divine masculine stop hiding their lights from judgment. The full moon blows everything out of the water because Gemini doesn't hold back ever. Natural speakers of truth, whether you like it or not, and they don't sugarcoat it either. That's Gemini. And that's this full moon. So, and I can attest to that. Both of my parents are Gemini. They do not sugarcoat things, and they say the truth. So if we have a full moon with the one sign of the zodiac that speaks their truth no matter what, and actually kind of lives for that drama of them showing other people up, yep, we're in for some interesting events this full moon. So that was the read, and we're at 4717, which is the synchronicities and the dreams that are real, not the illusions, and the 17 of dreams coming true. It's 47 and 17. They're both the dream cards. So dreams do come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. All right, I'm just going to pull a quick card from the Good Tarot, because I don't want this to go too long. And that will be it. I do need to show you the cards, though, too. So for everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Today, this December 9th, 2019. My son's starting home tomorrow, so say some prayers for him on the road. All right. This is what's coming up for you guys. 2 cards, maybe a third, and then a bunch. All right. And what's that one? All right, the bottom of the deck is the star. So there we have the star again. The 17 just came up. A really nice message. That's the underlying energy for you guys. These two guys came up together. The 6 of Fire and the Emperor reversed. This is under the radar, right? The Emperor in ego death, or his ego out of control, like abuse of power. So this is the fall of the patriarchy, or it's the literal ego death of the Emperor under the radar. So you don't know what's going on right now because everything's going on under the radar. The 6 of Fire can also have to do with their failure, right? So they're embarrassed. So they're kind of hiding out, right? Being humbled. Possibly in need of attention. So the cards upright just look like this, so you can see, because it's very much the lion energy. And flying, it's like it's a ship being pulled up by a hot air balloon. It's like the wizard, right? After when he exposes his true self, and now he's up in the hot air balloon, coming into Dorothy's house. He's bringing the ship, though, with him. He's bringing the ship coming in, because the ship got stuck. So the wizard is helping the ship come into port. And that was actually in the movie I watched last night, where the doctor was coming to deliver a baby in the snow, and the doctor got stuck in a bank in the snow because they slipped off the road. So then the hero, right, the divine masculine, comes rushing off to save her on a horse to bring her back to help deliver the baby. Well, that's the same kind of energy here, because we had the Page of Cups of the new baby, right? You don't want to come in with a new baby in arms. That came up in the headers online. All right, so that's this first part of this energy that came up for you guys. Then we have the Six of Water, which is the children in the garden again. It's very much of the two inner children. In this card, it's much more about the feminine alone, holding her stomach or her solar plexus chakra, right? Because she's missing her other, the Six of Water. And also you can see orbs in this. There's 6 orbs here as well. So it's funny because she's not actually alone here. Because look what's in the picture. Her reflection is there, but she can't reach them. So it's about needing to come in for that hug, but she can't because it's just a reflection in the water. She can't hug him physically. So this is coming up. This has never come up for me before. This is where it's time for them to come together physically. Very cool. And then these 3 came up, the Eight of Water reversed. So not walking away, but dealing with the emotions. 9 of Fire, which is the Wounded Warrior. And then the Messenger of Water reversed. That's the Knight of Cups reversed, which came up reversed in the read as well. So you can see them upright. The Knight of Cups, or the Messenger of Water. Well, he was up. This one was upright before. That's like the Wounded Warrior. And then the Eight of Water was reversed. It very much looks like the Hermit. Oh, but there's the ship. The Hermit's waiting for the ship that the masculine's bringing in, the wizard. And look, there's the treasure chest waiting, the dowry. She's got her dowry, because this is actually her. Because the divine masculine's the wizard with the balloon bringing the ship into port. It needed assistance. And we talked about ground control to Major Tom today, that he no longer needed to see with his eyes, because he could see me, feel me, touch me, and heal me. Oh, that's such a cool message. I'm getting definite connection here. So the Wounded Warrior is making the best of it, right? Because she doesn't look so wounded, does she? The 9 of Fire. She's got the stars there. Look, there's 3 stars, and there's fireflies here too. Look at all the fireflies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't tell. It's hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6. Oh, we do this 3, 6, and 9 again. 3 stars, 6 fireflies. And we spoke about that with the 3, leaving the 3 of Swords behind. And then the 9, which is the 9 of Swords, which was the suffering, the gate being opened to go through that. So when you go through the pain, you're now exiting the other side of it. So cool. So with the Knight of Cups, reversed, there's definitely some jealousy or insincerity there that's left over from before, sitting in that 8 of Water uncomfortable feelings, working through them instead of avoiding them. So any jealousy issues, they've worked through them with this 9 of Fire. That's referencing walking through the gate, even though this is the fire sign card, not the 9 of Swords. It was referenced in the read today. Really cool. And the last one that came out for you guys is the 3 of Earth. And that's the 3 of Pentacles, the place of co-creation, Trinity, in this SIRIAN Starseed deck. And very much so, this is like a work of art. There you go. It's very special and takes a long time to create. All right, well, I got to leave it at that because that's a really great message. Rise and be love, you guys. Oh, I got to show you the pictures. Hold on. I mean the cards. All right, so there's your 6 of Cups there in the underlying energy. You got the 5 of Cups there. Remember, there was 4 5s and 3 1s in this read. 5 of Orbs there in the foundation. Centrally is that Ace of Wands. You can't see the Ace of Flames because it's covered by the Chariot. The challenge being the Sage of Orbs, the Queen of Swords. In the recent past, you saw that 5 of Chalices, the other underlying energy of the full moon. Then crowning is that Ace of Pentacles, which is upright and coming out of the ground, bridging over to what's coming, which is that 6 of Flames, but it's reversed. And then the masculine seeing himself is the Ace of Orbs or Swords reversed. Around the masculine is Alchemy, which is upright, patience. And the block that he needs to clear has to do with the Seeker of Crystals, who is reversed. So that's in seeking their psychic abilities there, you can see, but they're not. Or just struggling with it. And we have Judgment. We have the Page of Cups above that with the bubble reversed. The Queen of Pentacles is upright. The Five of Pentacles is upright. And then we have the Knight of Wands all upright there. And then we end up there on the Two of Wands, the Twin Flames. And see the numerology card. There's quite a bit of purple there, the third eye to crown, as well as the solar plexus and pink manifestation and green nature of the heart. Okay? All right, guys. Make sure you drink your water and get your rest. And do all the things that make you happy. Get your joy, get your nature. Do something you haven't done before. Go out with a friend or a kid or anyone, you know. Just go out by yourself and take a walk if needed or take a nap. But do something fun. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.